should the Ganapati Murti be made of Shadu? Objections are three. The first one is clay is not soil, or Shadu is clay and clay is not soil. Second objection is clay or Shadu does not dissolve in water. And the third is the fine particles of Shadu, they go and block the natural resources or natural sources of water, streams and rivers, and thus cause environment unfriendly effects. So let us see how these three objections play out. First, clay is not soil. Clay or Shadu is soil. There are 6 types of soils, and these are sand, clay, silt, peat, chalk and loam. So scientifically, Shadu is clay and clay is soil. Out of these 3, that is sand, chalk and clay, do not dissolve in water. Yes, the chalk that you use in school for writing on the blackboard is also a sort of soil. But whether it dissolves in water or it doesn't dissolve in water doesn't have anything to do with environment friendliness. For example, many poisonous substances dissolve in water, like DDT. It dissolves in water and contaminates water. So whether it dissolves or does not dissolve, stone does not dissolve in water, but it doesn't contaminate water. So whether it dissolves or doesn't dissolve is irrelevant to its environment friendliness. And now we come to the third part, which is it blocks natural resources. Yes, clay is very fine particles and which stick to each other very closely. So if there is a lot of clay or a lot of Shadu thrown into a river or thrown especially into a well, it can very well block the natural resources because it will go there and stick in those holes or those crevices. But then this will not happen if the water is flowing. This will not happen if the well is used on a regular basis. And in the first place, what is said is Visarjan has to be in flowing water, not in wells or not in lakes. So the Shastra says it should be flowing water, and when the water is flowing, the Shadu does not have time to settle down or go down. And when the water is flowing, along with it, it will take the sand, the clay, the peat and the many other things that are there. Here, one more and most important question arises, that yes, Shadu can block, it has got the potential of blocking the natural sources of water. But take example of Thane. About 200 years ago, Thane was supposed to be having 100 lakes and 2 big rivers, Ullas and Vaitarna, and many wells from where the drinking water and even farm water requirement was fulfilled. As of today, there are only 30 lakes in and around Thane city. Ullas river is almost dead. Vaitarna is surviving. Wells are not there. Did Shadu play any role in this? No. It has been our greed. We have dumped sewage, we have dumped chemicals, we have dumped garbage in the river, we have flattened the lakes and filled those up, we have filled up the wells to get accommodation, to make buildings or to make grounds. And Shadu has not played any role there. So these are the bigger issues. These are the issues that need to be looked at. And lastly, has there been any scientific study done by a reputed institute to support this claim that Shadu is environment unfriendly, even when it is 100% natural? If so, that study with data, facts and figures should be brought forward. Why do I say this? Is every year we hear about crackers pollution. pollution because of firecrackers during Diwali, especially in Delhi. In Delhi, the contract for studying pollution was given to the reputed institute of IIT. They studied pollution, Delhi pollution in all its aspects, and in their study they have mentioned 13 factors which cause pollution. Mind you, firecrackers is not even mentioned. So what is this? And lastly, where were all these people for the last 10 years where there was a movement to replace POP with Shadu? Government even made rules for that, and artisans followed. They started making Shadu Ganapati in place of POP Ganapati in many of the smaller murtis. And 10 years later, we come up with this new thing, Shadu is environment unfriendly. And this is why these claims need to be checked with facts and figures and data using scientific ways and not go by anecdotal evidence. That is ancient wisdom. Namaskar.